Real short video, you guys. There's been a new Forbes article yesterday. How ArenaNet is modernizing Guild Wars without remaking it. And they are talking about the Reforged update and interviewing the developers of the future and what they already have done. So this is a very interesting article. I would recommend every one of you to read this. They talk about what the reception has been like, and then they say, compared to the weeks leading up to Reforged launch, we saw an over 16,000% increase in overall unit sales and a 5x increase in concurrent players. 16,000% sounds like insane numbers, but keep in mind, I think the game was sold like 5 times the week before, so 16,000 times that is still great, but, keep in mind. Then what about the number of players on mouse and keyboard? They talk about mouse and keyboard versus Steam Deck. Also, it feels almost like a full remaster, but you've been clear that this isn't. And then they just talk about how, hey, this is just quality of life features, not really a remaster. And then there's something other really, really interesting. They talk about how they ended up making this with 2 weeks. The new development team behind this. Talking about adding controller support. And difficulties of making Reforged. General interview stuff. They talk about the new price. How this was like the best way to make it easier to purchase for more people. And then what kind of future updates are on the table down the line? Maybe some more QoL enhancements. And then they basically say Guild Wars has been around for 20 plus years at this point, and there are a few legacy behaviors that folks have been working around that we'd love to improve. We'd love to keep coming up with the interesting ways for folks to re-engage with the game from a new perspective, like the Doom's Covenant mode, which recognizes players who haven't died in a single time. We're also on the lookout for ways to make the experience more inviting to new players. Guild Wars is a complex game with a steep learning curve, but is extremely rewarding once you've started to develop some mastery with its systems. One of the biggest benefits of shipping Guild Wars Reforged is that it has reinvigorated the community for the game. The experience is alive with other players and hasn't been for some time. We want to help continue to grow that community. That would require them updating it more commonly, though, because our last update was in mid-December, I think, and we've gone from 5 districts to 2 districts again, so I hope there's something coming anytime soon. How will you decide what to tackle next? Community surveys, telemetry support tickets, Steam reviews, or something else? And then they basically just say, hey, we have a great team, whatever. The last thing is, however, the most interesting thing. They say, any teasers about Guild Wars 3? How is that coming along? And they say, the studio is currently focused on developing the remainder of the content for Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, as well as working on regular updates for Guild Wars Reforged. If there's ever a new project from the studio to announce, we will be happy to share it with you when the time is right. So, as well as working on regular updates for Guild Wars Reforged, which they just announced that there's more coming. So, I hope they will be working on that soon, though, because, again, only 2 districts left in Ascalon City. More would be nice again. Just a little quick snippet. This is very interesting. I will link this article in the description so you can read it for yourself. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.